It's a hard decision to make, and it's surreal. And these are our homes that we get up every day and we work hard to protect.
We certainly don't want to put anybody's lives in danger or anything, but when you're here, there's things that you can control and help.
Still sticking it out. I hate to say, let's give up, let's go.
There's a perception that, like Tony or myself, are rebels. We're staying with our homes. This is what we know. This is where we live.
From the day before lifting all those bags, it's like my back and my arms are just like so sore and tired. It's draining, really.
It was flooded bad in '73, but nothing like this.
So what'd they do? They picked it up, raised it with trucks and stuff or something?
And jacks and slid it back on timbers and reposted it on a foundation back further. And as far as I'm concerned, it was in vain, I guess, when I look at the water, what's going on now.
And again, that man was speaking to Brett Ruskin, who joins us right now from the flood zone itself. So, Brett, you've been in and around St. John for some time now, and this man, he has quite a story. He's going through his own ordeal as well. Tell us more about him.
Yeah, so that was Howard Haynes, Michael. He was looking at the property that his family used to own. He sold it to a man who now lives in Toronto and summers here. So the man didn't have to evacuate, but he's perhaps sitting in Toronto somewhere watching this, seeing his summertime cottage underwater. Meanwhile, Howard Haynes owns a campground just down the river from there. The campground, the front entryway that is completely wiped out. The roadway that you would drive in, to check in, to have your campsite assigned, completely underwater. We were boating on it. The first level of that building is completely underwater. He's had different buildings knocked out, different buildings knocked off their foundation, taken down the river in that strong wind that you'll remember from yesterday, and thrown against the side of one of the cable ferries, which is just a huge piece of metal in the river right now, and it just shattered those small buildings as with the force of the wind and the force of the current. So he's going through his ordeal, and just so many people else are going through the ordeals as well. I want to show you just behind me what the scene is here. This road behind me is closed. Earlier this week, authorities were a bit ambiguous as to whether or not it was closed. There was a sign saying caution, but now we have police, we have fire here, we have there is no longer any crossing here, and past that bridge there is a community of more than 100 homes. They no longer have access to the mainland via this bridge. Michael.
So a lot of people cut off from their homes or from getting away from their homes. So what is the expectation in the coming days then, Brett?
Well, yeah, we've been seeing the water level rise every single day. The high tide, or the highest tide, is between 2 a.m. and around 4 or 5 a.m. So this morning, it was the highest that St. John has ever seen. Before that, it was yesterday that the highest St. John has ever seen. Tomorrow, we're likely going to see even higher than that. The Premier of New Brunswick, Brian Gallant, said that we should expect 5 more days of conditions like this or worse. And then the real question is, how long will the water linger? We don't know how long. Once we do reach that peak, it will stay at that flood stage. So that is a big question mark. Lots of questions facing residents, many of whom still haven't evacuated yet, many of whom say they won't.